We are underway with high school football here from Perkins as BCSN presents Clyde Fliers against the Perkins Pirates. And just underway, and the ball's going to go incomplete. On the opening kickoff, the Clyde Fliers pooched the ball, and the Clyde Fliers were able to retire it. And as always, tonight's telecast being brought to you by Dewey Furniture and Carpet. So we're glad to have you on board. Ken Walters and our BCSN crew here on a absolutely, as I like to call it, a five-star Chamber of Commerce evening. Perfect night for football. Temperature about 74 degrees and just a light breeze out of the west. As the Clyde Fliers recovering that kickoff, will scrimmage from the 33. They are second down and 10. Running the quarterback position for Clyde this year is going to be Jaden Cook. Little inside action here against this Pirate defense, and going to squeeze it out inside the 30, maybe call it the 30-yard line, but it'll be third down. Perkins and Clyde both coming in 1-0 on this abbreviated season. Perkins had their way last week, beating Vermilion 51-20, while Clyde easily got by the Willard Flashes at 35-0. So a real litmus test for the Perkins Pirates going up against the defending, and I'll say that again, the defending state champions in Ohio. So out of the shotgun. Going to run the quick out. And the Perkins defense pursues well. Over there for the Pirates. Looked like Mo Armstrong was there. Or that call that Sammy Siegel, number 3, Sam Siegel. Sam out of that DB position, able to make that tackle in the open field. So Clyde faced now with a fourth down. Going to call this a short 6. Thought they might have jumped off. We're going to get that play in from Ryan Carter on the sideline for the Flyers. Again, head coach now is Ryan in his 8th year. To throw. Looking, and the Pirate defense is there. So the team in black able to withstand that fumble and able to hold on 4 downs, and they're going to get the football back. Big play for the Perkins Pirate defense and an opening possession. Again, Clyde pooched the ball. They recovered the fumble at the 33, but they got to turn the ball back over now to the Perkins Pirates, and this is where the team from South Campbell Street will scrimmage. First and 10 will Perkins go. So a good start for that Pirate defense. Again, Clyde Flyers, I mentioned they are the defending state champions in the state of Ohio in Division 4. Winning it all last year. And as out of the quarterback spot for Perkins is going to be a veteran quarterback. This is going to be Chris Campbell. Chris been the starting quarterback for the Pirates, now his senior. He's been there 3 years. Very experienced QB and a good athlete. So a slight delay here as we'll get things squared away by the head official. Again, this season, the referees, they don't touch the football, folks. They have a little bean bag that they set down where they'll mark the ball. The center will always take the ball up to the line of scrimmage. Campbell looking for a block. And the Clyde defense is there. Not 1, 2, but about 5 guys that wrap up Campbell for a short gain of 1.
And number 66, Walker Britt. Pick up of 1 of the play, brings up a second down and 9.
In the 7 years that Ryan Carter has coached for Clyde, his record is 4-3 against Perkins, but they have won the last 4 meetings against the Pirates. It's going to be an easy 5 yards. A little overzealous on the defensive side of the ball. That makes life a little easier now with a second down. Going to call it 4. Don't want to be repetitive, but this is just an absolutely gorgeous evening to be outdoors here, getting some vitamin D and some fresh air and enjoying high school football. 2nd and 4. Campbell. Overthrow his intended receiver. He's trying to hook up on that quick out. Unable to come up with it. So looking for Siegel.
Bringing up a 3rd down.
So we'll go with a 3rd now. 3rd down. We're going to call this, again, about 4 yards. Chris Campbell was 6 out of 11 for 124 yards in that opening win against Vermilion. He also had a touchdown. Campbell's going to run. Clyde defense right there up the middle. Tried to make a move, but the Clyde defense held strong. In on the tackle was Jaron Bolger. So they'll kick the football away here with 9:20 remaining opening quarter. Again, this is a Lake Division matchup. They'll play 6 games this year. The last 5 will be in your division. So rarely do these teams get together in week 2 of the high school season. But here again, we're only playing 6 ball games, so they'll play 5 games in the Lake Division. Good snap. Able to kick that ball away. Able to recover that at the 35. So Yingling able to get the punt off, but Clyde will step out for their second possession now. They're going to scrimmage the football. Referee will spot it at the 34. The center will carry the ball up to the line of scrimmage. Center is Hayden Myers, 195-pound junior. Both of these teams, they are Division IV squads. Looking. Little high. Right there you had that pass read option was Jaden Cook with the Pirate defense tight on the edge, so he threw that one out of bounds. Again, in this ball game here tonight, very limited crowd allowed to come in on the Clyde side, predominantly just parents over there of the cheerleaders as well as the players, and that's about it. It's on the Perkins side, same thing. So in a big matchup between 2 good teams, not a lot of folks able to watch the game. I hope you're enjoying it home here on BCSN. Another quick out. Able to come up with that is going to be Brady Wilson, but there's that Pirate defense again. And that was one of the things Ryan Carter talked about. I had a chance to chat with the coach before the game. He said the Perkins speed was something that really stood out on the defensive side of the ball. And early here in this contest, you're seeing some of that out of the young men from South Campbell Street. 3rd and 9. So a long look to the sideline, bring that play in. In the backfield is Daniels. To throw, looking deep, up top and off the fingertips. He had a receiver, Griffin Knopfs was there, but that ball will go off his hands and that'll go incomplete. So we'll have to punt the football away. It's just a couple of ticks inside of 8 minutes here in this opening quarter. This Clyde Ball Club lost a lot of guys off of that championship team. In fact, they've had to replace their entire offensive line from last season. That was an excellent offensive group that helped lead them to that state championship last season.
Back deep for the Pirates, number 3, Sam Siegel.
So Siegel will be back in single punt formation to receive this punt. Going to go very short, high, across the 40, gets a decent roll for Clyde, so that ball will settle comfortably at the 38-yard line, and that's where the Perkins Pirates will scrimmage 1st and 10 from their own 38. Jalen Santoro is the head coach of Perkins this year in his first year, coming over from Bellevue, where he was an assistant coach for a couple of years. And Jalen Santoro was an outstanding athlete in his days at Bellevue. He was first team All-Ohio his senior year. In fact, he was player of the year in Division III. The year that they went to the state finals where they were defeated by Akron St. Vincent St. Mary back in 2012. But oh my, what a quality athlete is Jalen. He's brought new energy and a little different attitude, as well as he was able to raid the cookie jar over there at Bellevue. He brought a number of assistants with him. High pass, lofted in the air, and is that going to be intercepted? The referee says yes, it was at the 32-yard line, so good concentration. That was a jump ball, and Brady Wilson, he had it all the way Brady also a wide receiver, so really that was just a nice fly pattern for Brady to come up with that pick. As a lot of air was put underneath that football by Chris Campbell, and right there, able to make the interception was Wilson. So Clyde gets the ball back in good field position. They'll go 1st and 10. Again, what wind we do have, and it's very light. It's left to right on your screen, just maybe about 5 miles an hour, so that's not a factor at all in tonight's game. So we'll set the ball, looks like to 31. Again, the center, he carries the ball around with him like a loaf of bread. Hayden Myers will set it at the 31, but before we have a play, Ryan Carter says, guys, I want to come to the sideline and have a chat here. This is our 3rd possession here with 7:33 remaining, opening quarter. During this 2020 high school sports season, we're glad to have on board Sandusky Door and Hearth. Sandusky Door and Hearth, they are the area's most trusted garage door professionals. Great to have them with us here on BCSN as we're underway with fall sports throughout North Central Ohio, and for that matter, all over the great state of Ohio. Friday night football is back, and here in another hour, sundown, right around 8 o'clock. We'll get those Friday night lights working for you. But right now, we are bathed in sunshine here on South Campbell Street. They've been playing football at this site since 1963. That's when they started to play football right here at this location, and prior to that, you go about 200 yards to the west, which would be the left on your screen, which is now a parking lot. That was the original site of Perkins High School football back in the very early 1960s. But a beautiful facility here at Firelands Regional Medical Center Stadium. Again, like most of the schools now, we do have that artificial surface, or as I like to call it, the rug, and never an issue with weather. And that certainly was a problem last week if you were following high school sports. We had that hard rain, which delayed a lot of games, as well as some weather in the area. But tonight, spectacular evening. Great that the kids can get out here and compete in football. So the conversation has been completed, and we're ready to scrimmage here from the 31. So far, Clyde had no success against this Pirate defense. This time, Cook will work from under center. Try to run the ball, not much going. Boy, there again, that Perkins defense, solid as a rock.
Number 28, Michael Daniels, the ball carrier. Stop for a loss by number
Perkins was, Yingling was there for Perkins. We had Tyler Yingling in our program as number 57. Tyler's now wearing number 53. Yingling is a solid player for Perkins. Had a good year as a junior, sophomore last year, 6'5", 215. This time we're going to throw the ball. Pressure again. Looking deep, got a man open. Brady Wilson. Brady Wilson able to get the ball down to the 22-yard line. He got behind the secondary of the Perkins Pirates and able to put the ball on the money was Jaden Cook for the big gain, and the ball is going to be at the 22. 1st and 10, Clyde. Play of 40, I believe 48 yards on that pass, but that time he was able to sneak in behind that Perkins secondary, and Clyde in business now here at the 23. So quick look to the sideline again. We're working the quarterback now under center, Cook. Now he'll back out. Up inside, grinding forward for some tough yards goes Michael Daniels. Daniels had a quality game against Willard as he was able to pick up 130 yards on only 20 carries and was in the end zone 3 times. So he could be the workhorse at 192 pounds. One of the keys for Clyde this year is going to try to keep their quarterback healthy. Because Jaden has had some injury issues the last couple of years, but he's healthy right now. Trying to run this offense here at 2nd and 7. Inside, Perkins defense is there. Leading the charge is going to be Sam Sturginger. Sturginger, a sophomore. Pirates on this year ball club, only 8 seniors dressed for the black and white. So a relatively young squad with not a lot of seniors on the roster. 3rd and 7. Inside again. Perkins defense. Still driving forward, though. The Pirates had him corralled, but Michael Daniels says, I'm not going down until I pick up a couple of yards. And he does, so now you're faced with a 4th down. Interesting play call on that 3rd down, but now 4th. We're going to call this 5 yards to go as we're inside of 5 minutes here in this opening quarter. No question right now. Ryan Carter says, let's play, fellas, 4th and 5. So now we'll take our time and get that play in from the sideline. They were trying to go quick snap and hope that that front line of Perkins would jump offside. To throw. Looking. Up top, got a man open. Ball is caught by Griffin Knopfs. He's going to get that ball at the 3-yard line. So good patience that time by the quarterback, Jaden Cook. They flushed him out of the pocket, but he kept his head up and was able to find Knopfs at the 3-yard line. And the Clyde Flyers on the doorstep. 1st and 10 they go from the 3. This drive started at their own 34-yard line. So a little power football coming up right now by Clyde Flyers inside. And touchdown standing up. Good blocking on the left side. And Michael Daniels, the 192-pound junior, able to put the ball in the end zone. And the Clyde Flyers are on the board with 4:23 remaining opening quarter. Good solid drive by Clyde. Had the big pass play, which helped get them down into scoring position. So they're on the board with 4:23 remaining. So extra point forthcoming. This would be Sidney Homan. Sidney was 5 of 5 last week against Willard. Low snap, and he'll knuckleball that one through, and PAT is good. So 4:23 remaining opening quarter. Clyde strikes first. They lead the Pirates 7-0 as you're watching high school football on BCSN. So the kickoff by the Clyde Flyers, and it'll go to the, looks about the 31-yard line. So Perkins will scrimmage down by 7. So Jaden Cook, the quarterback for Clyde, able to run his ball club down the field. A couple of big pass plays, that 46-yard completion to Brady Wilson put them in business. So here's Perkins looking for an answer. They'll go 1st and 10 from the 31. Inside play, big hole, a lot of running room. Watch out to the 40, that's a touchdown. Mo Armstrong will go the distance. He got great blocking at the point of attack, and he takes it in. He goes 69 yards, and just like that, the Pirates are on the board. Excellent blocking on that right side. Mo Armstrong never touched. Once he got into the secondary, it was just a sprint, and he was able to take it in standing up. 69 yards goes Armstrong. That's the way to answer after a team puts a good drive together. And again, the blocking was superb. Yingling for the PAT. Splits those uprights, so very quickly we are tied here with 4:09 remaining opening quarter. Again, what crowd we have, they were definitely on their feet as Mo Armstrong takes it the distance. So 4-9 remaining, first quarter, tied at 7 on BCSN. So the return out to about the 35-yard line. That's where William Lozier will be brought down, and Clyde will scrimmage 1st and 10 from the 35. That was one of the things Ryan Carter talked about pregame. He thought this Perkins Ball Club had some good team speed, and Mo Armstrong, boy, once he got through that initial hole, he was gone and on his way for a touchdown. Jaden Cook will work out of that pistol. Inside, try to play a little power football, and wrapped up and brought down at the 40.
Number 28, Michael Daniels, the ball carrier. Stop number 19, Luke Walton.
Mentioned it earlier that this offensive line of the Clyde Flyers, 5 new guys working up front for the team from Sandusky County. Call that the proverbial rebuild. You got to replace also your quarterback and your leading running back from last year's state championship team. 2-letter winners return on offense. Try to move that pile forward for a couple of yards. Right now we're playing football inside the tackles, so a 3rd and 3 as we're closing in on 3 minutes opening quarter.
And number 55, Daniel Zirkle. Brings up a 3rd down and about 3.
Once again, that long look over to the sideline, get that play in. Clyde will go 3 receivers wide to the top of your screen. Quick out. And first down is going to be gathered in. That was a quick out, but I'll tell you, it was a nice catch that time by Griffin Knotts. That ball was low, but Knopf's able to go down and grab it, secure it, and get the first down. Chains are moved. Clyde quick to the line of scrimmage here at the 46. Perkins 4 down lineman, playing that 4-3. Throw, looking deep again, and overthrowing his intended receiver. Trying to hook up with Griffin Knopf's that time. Back in man-to-man coverage was Luke Walton. So going deep on that first down play. Clyde football, since Ryan Carter took over, has been incredibly successful. 7 consecutive years in the state playoffs, and they come in with a glossy. Ryan does 73-21. Folks, you do the math, that's 10 wins a year for the Clyde Flyers. Again, you're a playoff team every year. Says a lot about the program over in Clyde. 2nd and 10. Good cut, good hole, and first down gathered in. Nice blocking on the left side as Bolger able to get 11 yards on that carry. So 1st and 10, go the Flyers as we're closing in on 2 minutes opening quarter.
Number 28, Michael Daniels, the ball carrier. Stop by number 8, Jacob Collier.
I will stand corrected. That was Michael Daniels on the carry. Daniels' big game last week with 130 yards. Oh, high snap. Good job. Smother that football, Jaden Cook. And that's exactly what he did. So the high snap, that's going to move him back to the 40-yard line. That's a loss of 16 yards. So that changes the whole play scenario around right now. Pretty easy to say. It's 2nd and 25.
Brings up a 2nd down and 25 yards for the...
You can't get it all back at once, but the Clyde's going to go trips to the bottom of the screen. Cook. Quick out, overthrows. Boy, good coverage over there by Colin Nemitz. Nemitz was up in man coverage, and with that ball going high, it's out of bounds, so 3rd and 25. So here at the 41-yard line. See if the Clyde Flyers think, let's just go deep on this, guys, and then punt the ball away. So your 3rd and half a city block. Lozier shifts to the left. Cook rolls. Cook looking across the middle. Got a receiver. Ball's grabbed in at the 25-yard line, and they're going to get it to the 10-yard line. So well done. Coming back against the grain and making that reception was number 11, Andrew Cobble. So Cobble able to gather that one in, get it down to about the 15-yard line. So my goodness, you talk about putting it on the money. Jaden Cook right there.
That brings up a 1st down and 10 at the 11-yard line.
About a 48-yard pickup on that play. Here's Clyde knocking on the door again inside of a minute. Big plays here by the Flyers. Oh, good tackle. Boy, standing in there, brushing off that lineman and coming up and making the hit for the Perkins Pirates. And I like to say making the hit. That was Caden Wire, 220-pound junior linebacker, filling in that gap and holding him to 1 yard. Under center. Run inside, good hard drive, good running, and into the end zone, Michael Daniels was hit a couple of times at about the 4-yard line, but I'll tell you, that young man wanted to get into the end zone, and 192 pounds, the junior drives in for 6. So a determined run by Daniels puts Clyde on the board again at 13-7 now with 9 seconds remaining.
Holding on to attempt the extra point.
Michael Daniels showing you some power inside between the tackles. This ball will crawl over the uprights. Literally, that crawls over the uprights. I'm not sure if he was using a pitching wedge on that or a 60-degree wedge, but either way, it went over and it's through, and it's 14-7 Clyde here with 9 seconds remaining, opening quarter. You're watching high school football on BCSN. Clyde is gone with that squib kick, and Perkins was able to pick it up and recover it at the 33-yard line, which should be the final play of this opening quarter. Campbell will snap it across and out to the 40. And looks like he was able to hook up with Collier, wide receiver. So that number 6. Pirate line numbers kind of come together, but that was Lesh with the reception, but that's going to do it. So the Perkins Pirates, they pick up 8. They'll switch ends. They'll be at a 2nd down and 1 to go. We have completed 12 minutes of football here tonight from Firelands Regional Medical Center Stadium, Perkins High School, and you find the Clyde Flyers on top 14-7 as you watch high school football here on a beautiful night on BCSN.
And that is all we
Second and 8. Campbell. Good cut. Chris Campbell to the 40-yard line. Solid pickup that time by Campbell as he's able to pick up 18 yards and move the chains.
Result of that play is a Pirate first down.
Chris Campbell showing some of that foot speed that was a concern for Clyde this year at 164 pounds and now in his 3rd year at quarterback for the Black and White. Very confident young man playing the game. Inside, pursuit, and there Clyde defensively, and I mean there for the Flyers was number 54. It's going to be Evan Witter.
Stop for a loss of 3. That brings him a 2nd down and 13.
That was one of the strengths, talking with Ryan Carter. He felt that his backers were pretty solid. He's got a young man by the name of Remington Norman who was first team all-league last year returning. One of those down linemen. Campbell going to fake, gets a block, going to squeeze out close to the 40-yard line. So that'll bring up now a 3rd down and 9. So Jalen Santoro, first-year coach for the Pirates, gets that play in. They load up the left side, the short side of the field. One more look here on the offensive side. Armstrong, lone setback behind Campbell. They need 10. Armstrong, nothing doing that time. Clyde really closed down inside as they had nowhere to go. Leading the charge, I mentioned Remington Norman. Well, there he was, the 208-pound junior. Solid up the middle, closed it down. So 4th down for the Pirates. 10 yards. Ball's at the 44. Campbell will work out of that pistol. Interesting call here by Jalen Santoro, rolling the dice here early in this ball game. Clyde could get good field position if they hold. He will short punt that, and he'll kick it high in the air. Get away from that. Carpet bounce, but it's going the wrong way. That ball's heading east. So at the 16-yard line, Campbell running out of that pistol, quick snap, and is able to pooch that ball to about the 18. So there's where Clyde will take over the football, up 14-7 here with 9.5 to go first half.
Per OHSAA orders, there's to be no congregating before.
Again, these are Division IV teams. Perkins with 252 boys in the top 3 grades, while Clyde, they've got 256 boys in their top 3 grades. So enrollment-wise, very equal.
In order to continue playing.
Inside, Not a whole lot going that time as Daniels is closed down by the interior defensive line of Perkins. So both coaches mixing it up here in this first half. Running inside, also throwing the ball around a little bit. Clyde's had a lot of success throwing the ball. Jaden Cook showing good arm strength. He was able to hook up a couple of times on big receptions. Inside play again, nothing. But now we break a tackle and we'll squeeze out a couple of yards.
Number 28, Michael Daniels, the ball carrier.
So for a moment they had Daniels wrapped up, but he was able to squeeze out, call it 3, so make it a 3rd down and 7.
That brings up a
So
3rd down and about 7.
Going to call this a throwing situation. And Clyde will look to the wide side of the field with 3 receivers. Cook to throw. Looking deep. He'll release it, and he's got a man at the 40-yard line. Good patience, but good job up front. He's able to find Andrew Cobble on the reception, but give credit where it's due. The front 5 of Clyde held strong. Gave Cook plenty of time to look over the field, and he throws a strike and a 1st down out to the 40-yard line. So well done. Slipping down, I'll tell you, there was room to go right there for Griffin Knotts. He had a whole bunch of running room to the outside, but he lost his balance and tripped at the 48. But there was, as we like to say, room to move for Knotts. But a good game. Give him 7. Clyde is on the move. So check off at the line. Cook looking. Get that quick snap out for the 1st down. Showing a strong arms. He's able to hit Brady Wilson. Wilson with 4 receptions in that win over Vermillion last week. So he's spreading that ball around here tonight. But you get a sense that Jaden Cook has a very strong throwing arm.
1st down for the Flyers.
Looking again, going deep. 1-on-1 and grabbed. Nice. And the catch is made. A beautiful catch that time by William Lozier. He's able to bring that in. Back defensively was Lesh with good position, but my, what a wonderful catch that time by Lozier. Right on the money, though. Again, the arm strength and the accuracy of Jaden Cook showing out here in this first half. That ball sitting now at the 15, and the Clyde Flyers on the move as they're up by 7 and looking to add to this lead. Inside with a block, driving forward to about the 5-yard line. Power running by Michael Daniels.
Michael Daniels, the ball carrier.
Again, the 5 up front are really firing off the football for the team from Clyde.
A 2nd down and 3 for the Flyers.
Second and 2. Looks like a procedure penalty here. That's going to back them up 5. So far, been a very clean football game here inside of 6 minutes, but that 5 yards will put Clyde back now into a 2nd down. Looks like about 8 to go. So move some personnel in, reset the ball.
2nd down and 8.
So they've got themselves a quarterback here from Clyde, this Jaden Cook, showing he can throw that ball around and find receivers as Ryan Carter will stop the action here. That's his second timeout that he's used here in this first half. He'll have one remaining. Mentioned that Jalen Santoro was in his first year as a head coach. He was a 2013 graduate of Bellevue High School, led his team to the state championship game in 2012 where they were defeated by Akron St. Vincent St. Mary. But Jalen, he was Division III Player of the Year in Ohio. In fact, he had a solid game against St. V as he went 15 out of 25 for 184 yards and threw 3 touchdown passes. But not only was he a very, very good high school quarterback, but I tell you, the young man could bounce the ball too for Clyde. He ended up his high school career as the 4th all-time leading scorer for the Redmen with almost 1,200 points scored on the hardwood for his alma mater. So a very, very solid athlete. Graduated from Tiffin University where he went over and played wide receiver and had a nice career down at Tiffin. Came back to the area, a couple years of assistant coach under Ed Nasanti, and guess what? You've got a head coach here at Perkins starting out, again, 25 years old, and he's leading the Pirates here in his opening season. 2nd and 7. Inside. Good fake. Strong run, and into the end zone we go. Touchdown. Able to break that tackle of Luke Walton and keep his feet and scoring was Michael Daniels. He goes in for the touchdown. So Michael Daniels with a couple of touchdowns here tonight has opened this thing up now to 20-7. The Clyde Flyers showing they can run the football between the tackles. They can go up top, showing a lot of versatility in this offense here in week 2 of the 2020 season. So Holman again will go with the PAT. Good snap. That time he gets a little leg into that ball and secures it for the extra point. So 5:37 remaining till halftime, and this Clyde offense has put 21 points on the board. They lead the Pirates 21-7 as high school football continues on BCSN.
We're going somewhere in the ocean. We're going somewhere in our home. And all we have is our devotion. And that is all we hope to find.
Well, again, that short kickoff as Clyde does not try to kick deep, respecting that speed of the Pirates. So Nemitz able to gather that one in and secure it. So Perkins will go from their own 24. So we'll start this drive down by 14 here with 5.5 to go in the second quarter. Chris Campbell. Campbell will keep. Trying to get a block, but unable to get away from that Clyde defense. Look like in on the tackle for the Flyers. Look like Remington Norman. Norman again, he was first team all-league last year, 10.5 sacks. And he did that as a sophomore. And you look at Remington Norman, only 5'9", playing right in the middle of that defense. 2nd and 11. Campbell with another look. Again, setback is Armstrong. They're going to try to get Armstrong wide. He's got a block. He's at the 25 to 30, across the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. Good play call that time as they got to the Clyde defense. They were short on the edge, and Armstrong able to break that one out to the 44-yard line. A 14-yard pickup. Perkins in business. Armstrong will try to drive up inside. Tough yards, able to get it across the 45 out to about the 47. Perkins has all timeouts remaining. That 3 in the book for Jalen Santoro. Plenty of time to go here. Closing in on 4 minutes. Caden Gentry, center. So again, that long look. Both teams setting their offense down, reading the defense, and then calling in the play. Campbell able to slip one tackle to the 50. He's got a block to the 40 and out of bounds. There's quick feet right there of the quarterback for Perkins, Chris Campbell. Able to get to the edge and a little jute inside, and he's able to get the ball inside the 40 to the 39. So quality yards, first down Perkins. This time they go 4 wide to the top of your screen. They empty the backfield. Campbell going to keep. Looking for a block, but he's going to be wrapped up and thrown down at the 38-yard line. Flyers are there leading the charge. It's going to be John Miller Perry.
And number 55, John Miller Perry.
On that play, Perkins tried to spread that Clyde defense out, get some good one-on-one blocking, get those linebackers out of position, but defensive line of Clyde's held, so give him a yard. Same set. Perkins again, 4 wide receivers. They empty that backfield. Jaden Rowe, the only receiver to the short side. Everybody else loaded up to the right. Campbell will roll. He's looking. Got a man open and securing the ball at about the 29-yard line. Good play, good action that time as Drake Benarucci able to secure the ball right about the 29-yard line. Going to be just about a half a yard short. So using that foot speed of their quarterback, Campbell able to get outside and find an open receiver. Dive play, first down Pirates. Straight ahead power running that time by Nemitz.
The result of that play is a first down for the Pirates.
Again, they empty it out for Campbell. No doubt, Jalen Santoro likes his quarterback and the things he can do out of an empty backfield. He's got that run-pass option. He's got the foot speed to get to the corner. He will look short side, quick out, and the ball is completed at about the 20-yard line. So looking for Jaden Rowe, that 6'4" sophomore. It's a nice target to work with. So here's Perkins getting going here with a couple of ticks inside or over the top at 2 minutes, and they're on the move here. Took over at their own 24-yard line, and the Pirates looking for an answer here, down 14. The lights are on here at Firelands Regional Medical Center Stadium. The sun begins to set in that western sky. Campbell, good speed. Clyde pursues. He's going to be run out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That time, the Flyer defense didn't have 1 or 2 guys. They had a whole bunch of guys in those yellow helmets in pursuit of Campbell, and they were able to run him out of bounds. A couple of yards right now, looking at third. Looks to be about 4. Again, time not a factor. 2 minutes to go, 3 timeouts in your pocket, so you can run your stuff. Campbell, again rolling. Pressure on the backside, and down he goes. We got a flag on that play. I wonder if they're going to call him on a face mask. See what the players or a horse collar. Got an option here. Holding on Perkins. Oh, tough call in the backfield. But Clyde pursued well, able to slow him down just enough. But it looks like holding is going to be called on the Pirates. So interesting call now for Ryan Carter coming up, because they were sitting 3rd down and 4. He can move that down box around. That'll make it 4th down. Call it probably 9, but right now he's in conversation with the official. So 4th down. See if he moves him back. He declines. So Ryan Carter says, come on, defense. Your 3rd down. You're looking at 9. Make it 4th and 9 now with 1:53 remaining till intermission. Well, steady backing Perkins up another 10 and keeping it 3rd. Coach Ryan Carter says, I like my defense to make the play here on 4th down. 4th and 10. Campbell. Looking. Campbell going to throw. Up top and incomplete. That time he was looking to the end zone and he was looking to hook up with Sam Siegel, but the ball overthrown and the Clyde defense stands tall, does their job, and they'll take over the football on downs. So 1:29 remaining till intermission, and the Clyde Flyers dodge that bullet, as they say in football. So your defending state champions in Division 4 have 90 seconds to burn out, but Perkins has 3 timeouts. Thinking they like to get that football back here again. Got to get used to the center holding the football. That's Hayden Myers. So now we'll work out under the center. And we're going to throw that football. Got a man open. And overthrowing. He had a couple of receivers deep. He had Brady Wilson out there, and he also had Caden Berger. They were behind that secondary of Perkins. He lays it in there. That's 6 points for Clyde because they were both open. So a break for the Pirates stops the clock. Ryan Carter coming out firing here tonight on a Friday in week 2. Confidence in his offense, confidence in quarterback Jaden Cook. I'm sure Jaden would love to have that throw back because he had receivers open. So we spread the field again, and we're going to throw the football again. And at the 31-yard line, good, solid tackle being applied by Sam Siegel.
Jaden Cook's pass complete to number 21, Cameron Tuckerman.
So just a couple of yards picked up on that. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 6. Clock continues to wind. Surprised Perkins did not use the timeout. Inside of 60 seconds now as Clyde will use that clock. Using all 25 seconds, it's down to 40 now. Run inside, trying to find some room on the edge. We're going to come up short of the 1st down as Daniels is corralled. Now Perkins will stop the clock with 28 seconds. They're going to get the football back as it's punting time for the team from Sandusky County.
That brings up a 4th down and 2 for the Flyers.
You look at that team from last year at Clyde. Remember, they went 6-4 during the regular season, 2-3 in league play. And boy, they had a rough finish to the regular season as they lost in weeks 7, 8, and 9. Lost 3 straight games. Granted, those were quality opponents they lost to. They had to beat Bellevue, the team right down on US Route 20. Came up with a big victory. They squeezed into the playoffs as the number 8 seed. And then they got busy in what's known as the 2nd season as they knocked off Elida, locked off Napoleon. They knocked off Dayton, Thurgood, Marshall. They went right through. They knocked off Keystone. And then they got to that championship game. So here we go. Punt the football away. We're going to short pooch this. What do we got, folks? Take a look at this. 4th and 2. Oh, nice roll. Oh, hello. Inside the 10, down to the 8. Oh, my goodness. Let it roll, fellas. It's down to the 5-yard line. Well, I think that's going to do it for the first half if you're going to do it. There it is. 13 seconds to go. Close to 60 yards on that. So the Perkins Pirates will find themselves down 21-7 as we've completed this 24 minutes with probably one snap of the football remaining. A nice performance by quarterback Jaden Cook for Clyde here in this first half. Again, he sat 2 years with injuries, so really didn't get a whole lot of playing time the last couple of years, but he's taking full advantage. He's healthy and playing well, at least here through this first half. They've really mixed it up and have been effective in both parts of the game, throwing and running the football, as Campbell will try to sprint to the sideline. And he's going to be swarmed over and knocked out of bounds with 4 ticks remaining until intermission. They're the Clyde defense year in and year out. They have some fellas that can play this game. They are solid and they are aggressive as teams are heading to the locker room. But the referee says, gentlemen, wait a second here. We're not ready to go just yet. Or did they call it the half? I'm not sure, but either way, both teams are heading to the locker room, so that will complete the first half. And 24 minutes of football are in the books as we'll have a short intermission and teams will head to their locker rooms. You find your score, Clyde 21, Perkins 7, as you watch high school football here on BCSN.
Dance recitals are so boring. There's a meaning no one knows. Wait until we set
So
free.
what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
Duh.
Confidence. Pass it on. I was born to be somebody.
Wow. College already.
Yeah. We gotta go.
I love you.
I love you too, Daddy. And thanks for everything.
Gratitude. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Good evening and welcome to halftime.
It is halftime here at Perkins High School, Firelands Regional Medical Center Stadium, and this year only the home school band will be providing the entertainment as the Perkins Pirate marching band is taking the field.
Cameron Oley and Sydney Bolt. The show features soloist Emma Troyer on flute and Savannah Willis on trumpet. Our 2020 auxiliary captains are Riley Rupp and Emma Walton. Please put your hands together for the Perkins High School Marching Band.
score at 21-7. And a quick recap of the scoring. The Clyde Flyers, they got on the scoreboard first as Michael Daniels was able to take it in from 3 yards out, give them the lead at 4:23 to go in that first quarter. Perkins, they answered right back on that 69-yard run by Maurice Armstrong. Mo went 69 yards, extra point good, tied it at 7. Then Clyde in that first quarter able to get the ball in the end zone. Michael Daniels on a 10-yard run after a couple of good passes coming by way of their quarterback, Jaden Cook. And the final score of that first half came at 5:37 as Daniels went in from 11 yards out. PAT was good, and that's your score, 21-7, as the Clyde Flyers have been solid here through the first 24 minutes. Jaden Cook is an exception, 11 of 17 throwing the football, 185 yards, had that big 48-yard completion. So he was able to hook up with Brady Wilson, and also running the football. They've had some success there as well as Michael Daniels, 16 carries, 65 yards. So Clyde Flyers playing extremely well here through that first half. Statistically for Perkins in this ball game, Chris Campbell's carried the ball 10 times for 40 yards. And, of course, Armstrong, that big 60-plus yard run. So throwing the ball, Campbell, he's 3 of 6. Did have that one pick early in the contest. But somehow they got to try to slow this Clyde offense down as they have really mixed it up well through the first 24 minutes. And they lead by the score of 21-7. Clyde will make it 11 first downs in the first half, 5 for the Pirates. Total yardage, you're going to find Clyde with 235 yards, Perkins with 144. Been a clean game, though. Just a couple of penalties for Clyde, and that's been it. So week 2, find these football teams set to go in the second half. Clyde deferred. They get that ball to start this second half. And they're going to get out across the 30-yard line. We'll call it the 33. And that's where Clyde Flyers will scrimmage 1st and 10 from the 33.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Flyers at the 31-yard line.
I do want to correct myself. We were talking about Clyde winning that state championship last year. And when they ran the table, winning those 5 games, it was Keystone they beat in the first round. They came back and beat a good Shelby team. Basically, the Clyde guy said they wore them out in the second half. Tough game against Ottawa Glandorf. They beat OG, and then they got to the state semis where they rolled Cincinnati, Wyoming, 35-16, and they just blew up Licking Valley, 42-14 in that state championship game. Come away winning that state championship for Clyde. That's their second state title. Their other one came back in 1995, and Ryan Carter, their head coach, was a member of that state championship team. Clyde 15 times they've appeared in the state playoffs. They've got a glossy 26-13 record. And also you factor in that in 7 years at Clyde, Ryan Carter 73-21 as we're going to have a holding penalty to start off this second half. Not what you want coming out of the locker room, that's for sure. So when you get that opening run, we'll back them up. And we're going to call it 1st and 20 for Clyde. Counter action here, running inside, getting to the 25-yard line.
Number 13, Jay Plummer, the ball carrier. Tackled by number 19, Walton.
So a sophomore running back, that being Jay Plummer. Correction on that one, looks like 23. That's going to be Caden Berger. So let's get that correct. Berger at 196 pounds. He didn't look like a $150 running the football. Give him 5, 2nd and 15, throwing situation here. Quick out. Right there defensively to make the tackle. Coming up real quick for Perkins was Sammy Siegel. Siegel, 170 pounds. If you follow Perkins sports, Sam, an outstanding high school basketball player, playing some football for the black and white, making an open field tackle. Just a couple of yards on that pickup. So 3rd and 14. This is just what the Pirates need, a 3 and out to open this second half. Again, Clyde will spread it out. They'll keep Daniels in the backfield. Looking for 14 on this play. Cook. Got time. Downfield, got a man wide open at the 50. And that looks like a touchdown. Wide open, and I mean wide open that time was William Lozier. There wasn't a man within 15 yards of William. Nobody there. Obviously a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball as he goes 74 yards for a touchdown, and that is a backbreaker for the Pirates. Nobody accounted for William Lozier, and that 173-pound junior caught the ball at about the 45, and it was clear sailing. I could have taken that one in the end zone. So that's one the coaches will look at tomorrow on the tape and figure out what happened on the defensive side of the football. But a big play for Clyde. They were backed up 3rd and long, but instead they get 6, make it one more. Going to make it 7, so 4 for 4 on the PATs goes Sydney Holman, and just like that, it's 28-7 with 10:16 remaining 3rd quarter. So team's back, change ends, and we're going to step aside, and you find your score: Clyde 28, Perkins 7 on BCSN. Clyde Fliers, they continue to just pooch that ball down to the 28-yard line where the Pirates were able to secure it. So they will start their first possession of the second half at their own 28, down 3 scores. So quarterback for Perkins, Chris Campbell, try to get this offense in gear. Boy, a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball. That was called a wheel route that Lozier ran, and Perkins never accounted for him. Nice ball across the middle. Going to squeeze out about 8 yards.
Chris Campbell's pass complete to number 84, Jaden Rose.
That's a nice-looking sophomore receiver that Perkins puts on the field. Jaden got him listed at 6'4", and that's a nice target. Good hands and good play. First down, Perkins. So Pirates in a catch-up mode here now, down 28-7. This 3rd quarter just underway. Perkins Pirates cut out in their original black and white uniforms as the school colors back in 1958 were black and white as the flag has been thrown. And ease it up, fellas, is able to run the man out of bounds, that being Sammy Siegel, but some laundry has been thrown. Might be an illegal shift on Perkins.
Sam Siegel, the ball carrier, driven out of bounds after a 13, there's a penalty flag on play.
When you talk rivalries, Perkins and Clyde, you got to go back in the Sandusky Bay Conference. The league was founded in the year 1948. The Clyde Flyers, they got on board in the year 1949. They are the oldest continuous member of the Sandusky Bay Conference. 15 conference championships have the Flyers won. Again, they are the oldest continuous member of the SBC. Oak Harbor was also in that original class of 48, but they left after about 20 years, went to the Suburban Lakes League. But Perkins Pirates, they've been a part of the SBC since 1972. As Campbell looks, and the Clyde defense able to get a hand on him, but good balance that time by Chris. He's able to squeeze that out to about the 42-yard line, showing that athletic ability that senior possesses. So that'll make it a second down. We're going to call it 7. So good effort that time by quarterback Campbell. to throw. Pressure. Able to squeeze out of that, but there's the linebackers cleaning up at the 40-yard line. But you talk about some heat, but ducking under it and able to get the ball back up a couple of yards as John Miller Perry was able to wrap him up. So loss of just a couple, and we're going to call it 3rd and a long 9. But boy, doing that Houdini move right there. Magic man. 3rd and 9. Got Jaden Rowe again. Bottom of the screen, solo receiver, 3 to the top. Going to look to that short side, but here's some more pressure. And Campbell's going to go down. Going to wrap him up at the 35. Trying to run the short side of the field, but the Clyde defense was there as they pursued extremely well. Over there for Clyde was John Miller Perry. And it's hard for me to believe that's only a freshman right there that they run out. You don't see too many freshmen playing at this level. That's what they've got him listed in the program. So Perkins unable to get anything going offensively in their first possession. They will punt the football away. Tyler Yingling to punt. Good snap. Yingling will get that away. Fair catch is going to be called for and secured at the 35-yard line. And that's where the Flyers will scrimmage as Griffin Knopfs will get his offense back out on the field, and they'll set up shop up by 28-7 with 7:26 remaining in the 3rd. Again, Clyde got on top first. They led 7-0. Perkins came back with that big run by Mo Armstrong to tie it up at 7. Flyers put another touchdown on the board in the first quarter, added 1 in the second, and they came out of the gate with the big play here in this 3rd quarter. And now they lead at 28-7. Now we'll work under center. Let's see if Clyde tries to express themselves with some power football. Gang tackling at the 36. So a couple of yards gathered in. Now, looking here at the Firelands Regional Medical Center Stadium, they do not have the play clock working here tonight, so that 25-second clock is not available. So quarterback will have to watch that official on the back side because he'll raise his hand and let him know when they're down to 10 seconds. Again, going to work under center again. Looking to get outside. Perkins pursues well, and nothing. There's Sam Siegel again. They tried to get the ball to Abe Morrison wide, but Sam Siegel able to secure the corner and brings up a 3rd and 4. Clyde quickly to the line of scrimmage now. Everybody in tight. Power football. Power football. Driving forward for a first down. So Michael Daniels able to grind out that first down, move the change. We'll have a fresh set of downs. Over the years, watching the Clyde Flyers play, that is classic football that they love to play with Ryan Carter. And they are getting that offensive line geared up again. 5 new guys across the front. Start talking up front. You got Logan Homler. You got Remington Normal. Walker Britt. Christian Hummel-Meek outside. Michael Daniels becoming the workhorse here on the ground. Last week he picked up 130 yards and 20 carries, so you can hang your hat on that young man this year because it looks like Michael Daniels is going to be their go-to guy at 192 pounds. Clock continuing to wind here in a fast-paced 3rd quarter. 5:15, 5:14, 5:13. Clock running. There's the Perkins defense getting busy as they're able to secure the ball carrier for a loss. So we'll give that carry that time to Bolger. Perkins D, they've got to get busy right here on this 3rd down and 3 because Clyde is just starting to work the ground game. time they'll mix it up. Going to have a 5-yard penalty there. A little quick on the jump, so we'll back it up 5. Say that Jared Bolger wanted to get there in a hurry. So we'll now bring up a 3rd and 8.
Penalty on the Flyers.
Again, conditions here tonight, the wind that we did have has completely fallen off. Not a breath of air here on South Campbell Street. Temperature now in the 60s, but just an absolutely delightful evening to come out and watch high school guys play the game of football. 3rd and 8. Cook to throw. Backside pressure, he's got room to run at the 45. He's going to get the first down or run out of bounds, and he will get the first down. So Jaden Cook, quick feet, able to get it to the 42, move the sticks.
Kicks it out of bounds after picking up a first down for the Flyers.
So Jaden Cook looked downfield, nothing, but he had plenty of room down the right side, took full advantage of it, and was able to gather in that first down with 4:12 remaining in the 3rd and up by 21. This time they spread the field and run the quick out again. The 40 looking for a block, able to get the corner close to the 32-yard line. Clyde really mixing it up well. That time Griffin Knopf's on the reception. It looks like is there a flag down on the far sideline? Got a flag laying there at the 39. But that is a nice play the Clyde Flyers set up. Because Cook delivers that ball and Knopf is just turning his head when he receives it. So they're going to back him up 10. Again, a ball game with very few penalties have been called here tonight. It's credit to both teams, good discipline. Wind the clock. First down, we're going to call it what, 19? To throw. Across the middle, down the sideline. Oh, quality catch. Did we hang on? Incomplete. Stretching out, I mean really stretching out for Clyde on that was Brady Wilson. Had it for a moment, but it fell off his hand and incomplete. Close to the sideline, but good effort, but incomplete it goes, so that'll make it now 2nd and 19. Ryan Carter, again, coach for Clyde, really keeping the pressure on this Perkins defense, mixing it up. They'll run inside. Perkins is there. Whole bunch of Pirates close that one down. Like first on the contact for Perkins is going to be Evan Witter. Also Sturging there for Perkins. So 3rd and 19. It's a throwing situation, but we've seen some big plays off the arm of this quarterback. Jaden Cook has shown he can throw the ball deep. He's got receivers that can catch it. Lozier motion. Cook will roll right. Looking across the middle, going up top. Caught at the 5-yard line, into the end zone for a touchdown. Perfect ball, quality catch. Griffin Knopf's touchdown, Clyde. You talk about putting it right on the money. And Knopf's gathered that ball in at the 5, and he goes in for the touchdown. Beautiful football thrown by the quarterback. So what we got, a roughing of the passer on that play. But that touchdown is good. So Clyde Flyers have busted this one open here tonight. That'll go on the kickoff. But boy, what a sweet ball being thrown that time by Jaden Cook. So Jaden Cook closing in on 300 yards passing the football here tonight. Having an exceptional evening here in game 2 of the season. So the defending state champions expressing themselves here tonight against the Perkins Pirates. And we'll split the uprights. So Sidney Holman is 5 for 5, and that scoreboard now reads 35-7 Clyde. Step aside, 2:42 remaining as you watch high school football here on BCSN. Clyde Fliers got 15 yards. The ball moved up the field because of roughing the passer. But on that kickoff procedure, Clyde offside, so they'll back it up now to the 50-yard line where they'll kick off with 2:42 to go here in the third. But Jaden Cook, folks, that young man is on fire right now. 15 of 22 for 311 yards and a couple of touchdown passes. As he has shown a quality arm, also has the ability to run the football. So the Flyers, they got themselves a quarterback, appears here in the year 2020. So we'll kick it one more time. An onside kick. Fumble, looks like Clyde's going to get it. And they have it at the 39. So Ryan Carter really pulling everything out of the bag here tonight. Already up 35-7. He wants the ball and he wants more. So Perkins thinking another squib kick, but not the onside kick. So the Clyde guys say that was not on purpose. That was just a miss hit of the football. But boy, you talk about a beautiful miss hit. So they've got the football back. You know, with school back in session right now, it's time to start thinking about shopping. And at the Sandusky Mall, you can experience it all. The Sandusky Mall, located around US 250 in Sandusky. So under center we go. So that may have been a miss hit on the kickoff, but it was the ball back to Clyde. And we're going to get solid yards close to the first down as they grind it out using Caden Berger. So looks like going to be just short of that first down. So Clyde showing they've got some running backs. They've also got some guys that can catch that football, and Lozier, Knopfs, Cobble, Wilson. Got a stable of wideouts for quarterback Jaden Cook to throw to. So a long look in with this second down, open up that playbook here. First down gathered in. So Berger gets that first down.
Number 23, Caden Berger, the ball carrier. Stop by number 54, Evan Witter.
So Clyde well on their way here tonight of winning their 5th consecutive game against the Perkins Pirates. They won tonight's win. They'll be 5 straight. Ryan Carter's record now will go to 5-3. His first 3 seasons at Clyde had some trouble with this team from South Campbell Street, losing 3 times. Ryan told me before the ball game they've always struggled playing football over here for some unknown reason. Inside, maybe a yard. Call it a yard as Caden Wire there to make the tackle, the 220-pound junior linebacker. As we're down to 60 seconds here in the third. Again, if Clyde is able to score another touchdown, you'll start the running clock, because in high school football, if you're up by 30, then you keep the clock running. So everybody in tight now, looking for that running formation, and they will play straight up football, power football. Call it the 20-yard line.
Number 28, Michael Daniels, the ball carrier. Stop number 54, Evan Witter. Brings up a third down.
And Logan Holmer doing a quality job. Remington Norman up front. Walker Britt, solid play. Christian Hummel-Meek. All new guys along that front line, and they have been solid here tonight as the Clyde Flyers will let this clock wind down and complete the third quarter in a solid third quarter of football for the Flyers, as we'll play 12 more minutes here tonight, and you see your score. It's 35-7 Clyde here on BCSN.
And that's the end of the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Must be worn at all times, even when seated in the bleachers.
Impressive performance through the first three quarters by the Division IV state champions, the Clyde Flyers. They've come out of the gate here tonight looking to show that they lost a lot of guys from last year, but they are looking solid here tonight. Third down, straight play across the 20 down to about the 18. Power football again, as Michael Daniels will drive it forward. Going to be short of the first down. Looks like they'll need about 3. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Inside, driving, going to get first down. It's going to be close. It appears that they will get the first down. So Daniels, with that second effort, able to move the pile and get the first down. Like the sportsmanship there, Caden Wire was down and helping him up. It's Jaden Sheffield. So a stoppage of play here momentarily. So with 11:33, we're going to step aside. Back with more. It's all Clyde here on BCSN. A-OK, able to come off the field. Clyde will continue to work that ground game, but a lot of Pirates in there to make the stop. Sam Odo was there first, along with Tyler Yingling, so nothing going on that play.
Tyler Yingling and number 7, Sam Odo.
The tough thing for the Perkins Pirates right now is clock and field position for Clyde is, again, this is the fourth quarter, and we're inside of 11 minutes. Clyde looking at that 2nd down and 12. Again, they pack it in tight. One receiver wide right, under center. Straight dive. So we're at the, call it the 14-yard line.
Number 26, Jaron Bolger, the ball carrier. Stop by number 55, Daniel Zirkle.
So now it's Jaron Bolger's opportunity to run the football, 175-pound junior. 3rd down, you're looking at 9. Brian Carter will dial this one up as he'll open up the playbook, spread the field a little bit, and we'll work out of the shotgun this time. Timeout. A little too long getting that play off. I think that the play clock was getting close to running down at 9:55 in the 4th, so we'll come to the sideline and talk this one over, guys. During the 2020 high school football season, we'd like to thank our good friends from Matthews Ford in Sandusky. When you make it Matthews, we can make it happen. So stop by for a test drive today. That's Matthews Ford, located on Perkins Avenue in Sandusky. Well, a ball game here tonight that the Clyde Flyers, they struck first, took that lead at 7-0. Perkins came back, got the big play. Mo Armstrong busted one off for a long run to tie it at 7 apiece, but since then, it's been Clyde, and more Clyde, as they have just been relentless on the offensive end. The quarterback play has been exceptional tonight. Jaden Cook over 300 yards passing the football, and the running inside as well as showing some speed on the edge has been there tonight. Been quality running for Clyde inside, as Daniels has had a good ball game. Berger as well. And I'll say it once, I'll say it again. This is a rebuilt offensive line with new guys coming in and playing football, and they are doing a solid job here tonight. Should count Logan Fitzpatrick in there as well. Sophomore tackle. Third down play, straight up the middle. Busting tackles, getting close to the 5-yard line. That should be enough for the first down. Going to be close, just short of the first down. Thought he had it, but the sideline ref says you're short, so Daniels will come up. Looks to be about maybe a half a yard short. So no question we're going for this on 4th down. If you come up short, you've got Perkins playing the long field. The clock now the ally of Clyde. So quick to the line of scrimmage now. The play has been called in. We'll work under center. To the right side. Cut back, first down. Just good, hard running again. Michael Daniels.
Michael Daniels, the ball carrier, stop by number 55, Daniel Zirkle.
Now, what you're seeing here early in this season, you want to say early because this is week 2, but you're only playing 6 ball games. And the other teams in the Lake Division, they better say, folks, I think this team from Clyde is legit on both sides of the football. As they spot the ball at the 3-yard line. And Clyde will have 1st and goal to operate. Just a momentary pause here as both teams have come to the sideline. Again, the only play conference ball games now in the Lake Division. So after this one here tonight, Clyde will still obviously have to play Columbian, Norwalk, Sandusky, and Bellevue. Bellevue, I'm sure, will be the last game of the year. But this is what an experienced team can do. This is what a winning culture can do when young men who are getting an opportunity to start and get playing time, taking advantage of it. But You also have to keep one thing in mind. When you're a playoff football team, you're getting a lot of reps during the playoff season, struggling forward and diving into the end zone. That was pure effort, real simple. Jaron Bulger, he wanted the end zone, and he gets the end zone. So the touchdown gathered in by the Clyde Flyers, and they now have opened this thing up to a 41-7 lead. And the PAT forthcoming. Excellent drive again by Clyde. 70 yards on that drive, and we'll go to PAT. Here comes Sydney home, and perfect tonight. Sydney doesn't seem to possess the strongest of legs, but guess what? He's very accurate, except I say that, and guess what? Not getting it up in the air, and it gets blocked. So 41-7. And a gentleman from Clyde told me that's a female that's handling the kicking duties for Clyde tonight. Not too often you see the ladies on the gridiron, but Sydney is a 125-pounder. Are we allowed to say their weight in sports? I think we can because it's listed in the program at 125 pounds. Sydney is a senior, so she's in the graduating class of 2021. I guarantee you she is having a great time here tonight with her Clyde Flyer teammates. Well, it's 41-7, so you're in that running clock mode where the ball goes out of bounds, the runner's out of bounds, they keep the clock going, they don't stop the clock and move the change, so it's real simple. Pirates, they would like to get out of this 41-7 hole and get something going, but this Clyde defense has pretty well kept them in check. Chris Campbell, quarterback for Perkins, has shown the ability occasionally to get to the edge, but overall the Clyde defense has just been too solid in all phases of the game. So we'll pooch it again. And we're going to be wrapped up at the 35. That was Colin Nemitz. So Nemitz will get the Pirate football at the 35 with 8:17 remaining. Again, as you know, in high school football this year, the officials are not allowed to handle the football, so they kick it over to the center. He picks it up, he hangs on to it, and then they start. So look for Perkins to start spreading the offense and start throwing that football around with quarterback Campbell as they wind that clock. They empty the backfield for Campbell. Gonna go quick out and got one block. Good speed up the middle and able to hang on at the 40-yard line. There was some of that speed that Mo Armstrong possesses. Mo Armstrong, only a sophomore at 5'10". You could see he's got that breakaway speed. Showed it there as they're out to the 40 of Clyde now on the move. And Clyde looks to have rotated a lot of guys into the ball game now, giving other fellas an opportunity to play under these lights on Friday night as Campbell breaks a couple of tackles down to the 22. So, no doubt that Clyde is using a lot of younger players now. As they look over that sideline, you can see a lot of the fellas got the helmets off. Frontliners have stepped out of the game as Clyde now will go to 2-0 on the season. Clyde team has 12 seniors, 20 juniors, and 16 sophomores. Perkins, they are not a senior-laden team, only 8 seniors on the squad with 15 juniors, 15 sophomores. So still in that rebuilding mode with a lot of young players. Campbell will pitch the ball back. And now we got a whole lot of field on the right side. And we've got a convoy over here. And let's see if Clyde can corral the edge. They do not. And into the end zone. Little backyard football being applied right there by Mo Armstrong. So lateral the football back, and Mo Armstrong was cornered on the far side, but guess what? All he had to do was come back this way, and there were about 6 black shirts to escort him over to the other side of the field, and Armstrong scores with 6:24 remaining. Kind of looked like a little backyard football here tonight as the Pirates put 6 on the board with 6:24 remaining. So the big leg. The ball goes through the uprights, and 6:24 remaining. Perkins scores, and now we're back to a 41-14 ball game. And with that, we'll step aside. Back for more from Perkins after this timeout. So will Perkins go with that squib kick here? Down 41-14. Looks like they will. And that ball is not going to make it, so stay away from it, Clyde. Perkins thinks they touched it, but from up here it did not appear to be the case. The Clyde guys were there thinking about putting their hand on the ball, but they all backed off. So it will be Clyde Flyer football. And again, a lot of different substitutions have been rolled in by Clyde. I don't know why the officials are talking about this. It certainly appeared that nobody from Clyde touched that football, at least from up here in the box. But I did see a lot of the Clyde guys kind of diving towards the football, but they all backed off. So quick discussion. It might be where to spot the ball. So it will be Clyde football, and it looks like the officials put the beanbag down at right about the 46-yard line. Well, you can't blame the Perkins team for being out there with the offensive guys, try to sell it to the officials. Here's a look with the head official talking with Jalen Santoro. Again, Jalen's got to be one of the younger head coaches in all of high school football at 25 years of age. Again, he is a Bellevue graduate. Graduated in 2013. So we will set the ball down and we'll scrimmage from the 46-yard line. Looks like Abe Morrison is now in at quarterback for Clyde. There's a whole bunch of Clyde Flyers are going to get some playing time here tonight. Making some noise on that far sideline as the Clyde faithful like that effort out of Jay Plummer. Jay is a 150-pound sophomore, so a lot of these young men will be playing football tomorrow morning in the junior varsity game. So always great to see your second liners can get an opportunity to step on and play some Friday night football as we're inside of 6 minutes here in the fourth. Mentioned before, one thing about playoff football, Clyde went 15 weeks of football last year, and that means that's an extra 5 weeks that your underclassmen and fellows that were not starters last year got to practice, work the reps, work with the starters, and get a lot of things accomplished. So that's a real plus for a coaching staff and for an athlete when they get that many more practices in and that many more weeks of football. And that's been the case at Clyde for the last 7 years under Ryan Carter, as they have made the state playoffs 7 consecutive years. Again, they have a playoff record of 26-13 in their 15 appearances. So the underclassmen, they understand what it takes to be successful in this sport. And they have a fine, fine football tradition over there in Sandusky County in Clyde. Inside of 5 minutes here, looking at a 3rd and 7. So looking to get outside, but there's the Perkins defense. So just hang on to that football. That's exactly what we're doing. Good play by Abe Morrison. He was under duress, but Abe did the right thing, secured the football.
Number 8, Abe Morrison, the ball carrier.
So a timeout. And Perkins, they want that ball back with 4:26 remaining. Jalen Santoro says, gentlemen, I want to see you guys compete for 48 minutes. So he's going to get his squad over, and I would look for them to be going after this punt. Again, a football game that started out with Clyde jumping up on top out of the gate as they were able to score the opening touchdown of this contest. Perkins, they came back on that big play. Mo Armstrong, as he was able to take it in for a touchdown. As Mo went 69 yards, but then it was back to that running game as Michael Daniels scored back-to-back touchdowns to give them the lead at 21-7 at halftime. And then it was the work of their quarterback for Clyde. See, Jaden Cook was able to go up top a couple of times on some big pass plays and score touchdowns to give them that 41 points. Again, quarterback Jaden Cook had some injury problems the last couple of years, but he's healthy right now, threw for over 300 yards this evening, leading his team to victory. So we'll punt the football away. It's going to be high, and it's going to go out of bounds. Referee's going to spot it at the... See what we're going to do here as he marches forward 32, and that's where Perkins will run their offense out of the field.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Pirates at the 32-yard line.
Pirates will keep their front liners on the field. Chris Campbell will still take the snaps. Ryan Carter, he wants to call timeout. Looked like there was some personnel issues over there for the defense as they stop play. Now we're going to get our rotations, get our players in position. They had some problems over there making sure who's going to be on the field. Looked like he may have brought some of the starters back on the field. I think that Ryan Carter said to Jalen Santoro, you want to play ones, we'll play ones, my man. Said you want to get another touchdown, you're going to have to earn it. So again, a veteran coach against a first-year coach. Because about 10 minutes ago, the front liners for Clyde, the fellas all had their helmets off, and they were just ready to shut it down for the rest of the evening, but such is not the case. Let's play some more football. Campbell with a long look to the sideline. Again, Perkins has emptied the backfield. Campbell, that time just a couple of tough yards for that senior quarterback.
Chris Campbell, the ball carrier, stop at number 36, Dylan Obermeyer. Pickup of 3 of the play brings up the 2nd down and 7.
Mentioned state championships, the Perkins Pirates, they have one of those in their school history. They won it all back in the year 1999 when they ran the table. Nice reception out close to midfield. Move the football. That's Logan Lesh on the reception. Again, Logan got him listed as a freshman, so a lot of underclassmen here showing out for the Pirates tonight. They'll wind the clock, closing it on 3.5 here in the 4th. But Perkins, they've been in the state playoffs 10 times. Their last appearance was back in 2015. Campbell going to unload. Got a man wide open. A breakdown for Clyde on defense. And the touchdown. So there was a defensive breakdown on the part of Clyde, and Logan Lesh, the 175-pound freshman, gets it in the end zone, and the Perkins Pirates have scored again. So 3:18 remaining in the contest. Perkins showing some offense here late in this contest. Nice ball by Campbell, but certainly the rotation in the secondary from Clyde was not on the same page, and that was an easy pitch and an easy catch for 6. So unofficially 53 yards on that pass play. PAT is no good. It's going to go wide to the left. So with 3:18 remaining, find the Flyers. They're on top, 41-20 on BCSN. Pirates try that onside kick again. We're not able to come up with the ball, and Clyde secures it at the Perkins 48. So it looks like the Clyde Flyers on their side of the football field, they brought back some of their frontline players, their ones. Wait and see who their quarterback is going to be. So Clyde comes out of this timeout, ready to run their first play here with 3:16 remaining. And Jaden Cook back at that quarterback position. Hard running, driving, spinning out of a tackle at the 40, down to the 38-yard line.
Number 26, Jared Bolger, the ball carrier, stop at number 7.
Tell you, that junior, Jared Bolger, is showing some power up the middle of the field. He's able to break a tackle, spin out of it, and get close to the first down, maybe about a half a yard short. So a quick step aside here with 3:07 remaining. Clyde comfortably on top against Perkins. Able to come off the field. Always good to see. Looks like Cortez Johnson North, senior, seems to be A-OK, as Clyde will now scrimmage at a 1st and 10. They'll wind that clock as we're down to 3 minutes. So Perkins scored a couple of touchdowns here late in this ball game, and Ryan Carter had to bring in his first unit on defense and offense to settle things down and close this one out. Again, that inside attack of Clyde has been good here tonight with Jaron Bolger powering the football along with Michael Daniels. And with Clyde's passing attack here tonight, it has just been too much for the team in black and white to be able to handle. And Clyde now will go to 2-0 as I'm going to say 1/3 of the season is over. Again, only 6 games will be played this season. Pirates, they will find their record now at 1-1. So working clock. Get ready to close this ball game down here tonight. Again, limited amount of spectators allowed to come in and watch high school football. No students allowed to come in and enjoy themselves. This good hard tackle. I'm going to give credit on that tackle. I believe that was Caden Wire. So Wire with a good stick.
That brings up a 3rd down and 5.
So running the football, running the clock here as we're down to 90 seconds. Now watching that back judge, you see when he raises that hand to let him know when it's closing in on that 10 seconds. Hand is up now. Snap of the football. Gonna struggle forward, maybe a yard, maybe 2, and that's gonna do it. As Bolger goes down, Clyde will run one more play here.
Makes it 4th down for the Flyers.
So a very convincing win for the team from Sandusky County as they come over to Perkins tonight, solidify themselves as one of the teams to beat in the Lake Division this year. Well, Perkins, their first-year coach, Jalen Santoro, finds his ball club now going to 1-1. Again, a lot to build off of. Perkins, again, a young team with only 8 seniors on the roster. As the clock winds all the way down to 23, and now we'll call the timeout. So the Pirates, if Clyde unable to secure the first down, they get the ball back one last time. But again, here on BCSN, we're so pleased to be able to have high school sports this fall. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of uncertainty on what was going to transpire around the state, but the government has stated that, yes, we can have sports. We'll do this thing safely. You know, the social distancing is a critical component to having sports. So we've got them all going this year here on BCSN. We've got volleyball coming your way, as well as tennis and football. Enjoying all the sports for the guys and the gals. And again, some of the schools are back in session full go, while others are doing that virtual where the kids are at home, but then also coming into school a couple times a week. And with this snap of the football, it'll be a 4th down and 4 to go. On this, the final play for the Clyde Flyers offensively if they do not secure a first down. And we hope you enjoyed it tonight. Good work by my director, Nikki. Got our folks upstairs bringing you these pictures as it looks like we'll be short of the first down. So on the change of possession, Perkins will trot their offense out one last time. But again, we could not have asked for a more beautiful night for high school football here in early September. So one last snap of the football. Like Caden Gentry, the center, will set it down. And we'll see if Jalen Santoro decides to run this football and call it a night, or if he's going to wing it up top again with his quarterback, Chris Campbell. Going to air it out. A little jump ball action. It's going to go incomplete. Looking for that sophomore, Jaden Rowe at 6'4". Back defensively for Clyde, giving away a few inches, was Bailey Eberly at 5'9". So slight advantage height-wise for Jaden Rowe. So Santoro in his first year said, guys, we're going to keep flinging the football around here. Almost treating this like a practice situation here, working on some stuff. And Campbell, this time across the middle at the 40. And we're going to get the first down. Sam Siegel,
Lead to number 3, Sam Siegel.
the senior wide receiver, able to gather that in. And that should be the final play of the football game with just a couple of ticks to go, and that'll do it as the Clyde Flyers come over to South Campbell Street and come away winning convincingly here tonight by the score of 41-20. High-octane offense that the Flyers feature behind their quarterback, Jaden Cook, and a bevy of wide receivers and running backs. So a solid win for Clyde here as they go to 2-0, while the Perkins Pirates find their record going down to a win and a loss. So that's going to do it here from Firelands Regional Medical Center Stadium. Perkins High School. Again, I'd like to thank our friends from Dewey Furniture and Carpet for being with us here tonight, and quality work by our crew here at BCSN bringing you these pictures as the Perkins Pirates and the Clyde Flyers have completed tonight's ball game. Once again, I'd like to thank you for being with us, and this is Ken Walters reminding you as always to be sure to keep watching your high school sports right here on BCSN.
We're going somewhere in the ocean. We're going somewhere in